Gotta be fun and cheery. Wait, today's a holiday. It's President's Day.
Oh, good. Oh, and it's Singles Awareness Day. Now you know who's single and who's not.
Whoever's hoarding the discounted Valentine's Day chocolate.
Uh-oh.
50 seconds.
All right, thanks. National Single Awareness Day. Let's see here.
Of course, it happens after Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Well, like you said, discounts on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Items gotta go.
30 seconds.
Or is that Side Chick Day? Which one's the one where they don't show up in person, but they just send you something? If they don't show up in person and they send you something on Valentine's Day, you're the side girl.
Ooh, okay. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds. I'll let you hear.
Sir, and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. How was your weekend? I'm sure it was a fantastic one. We're looking at the Facebook feeds, and was it your special day yesterday? Then if so, you got some beautiful flowers and or candy and or things to celebrate the weekend as it was. For the rest of us, of course, it was a little bit of a dismal day. I'm not going to lie. I think those that are single out there kind of know the feeling, but you say, you know what? It's okay. It's one day, and the day after is even better because then you know. That's right. It's Single Awareness Day. For those of you counting out over there, there's a day for us as well. National Gumdrop Day, National Wisconsin Day, and or President's Day. Obviously, a lot of people talking about President's Day because they got the day off. We got Mr. Jesse Sanchez over there. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning.
Now, which of these, obviously, Single Awareness Day doesn't account for you, but which one will you celebrate today?
What was the other choices?
National Gumdrop Day, National Wisconsin Day, and President's Day.
Let's go with Gumdrop Day.
That actually sounds kind of good, doesn't it? Let's see. As far as gumdrops go, gumdrops are amazing and really good. The way you can enjoy them are in cookies. Decorate your cakes or cupcakes in popcorn cake or for crafts or for gifts. You can actually make gumdrops yourself. According to recipes, you just need vegetable oil, sugar, corn syrup, fruit juice, powdered fruit pectin, baking soda, and food coloring. Credit for the gumdrop goes to chemist and candy manufacturer Percy S. Truesdell. According to articles written after his death in 1948, he took the once hard, poorly flavored glob of sugar, turned it into the smooth, chewy delight we enjoy today. At the University of Ohio, the chemist altered the consistency of the candy by experimenting with the amount of starch used. He worked for the Snyder Chaffee Company until 1915. In 1916, he founded and incorporated the P.S. Truesdell Candy Manufacturing Company, and at his death, he became known as the Gumdrop King. There you go. There's some information you had no idea about, but now you know. Jesse, which gumdrops are you going to enjoy today?
Any ones that I can shove in my mouth.
That sounds delicious. Okay. And yes, kind of weird, but that's okay. Good morning to those tuning in social media. We got Maria says, good morning on this Canadian holiday. Happy Family Day. Oh, I did not know Canada had that. That's a good day. I like that. Let's see. Also said, hope everyone had some awesome weekends. Happy V-Day. And there you go. Okay. So look, for the rest of us, which are celebrating today, I'm just going to go into National Single Awareness Day because we got to have a day for ourselves as well. How do you observe it? I have no idea. The research has found Singles Awareness Day has been around since 1999. In a blog post, they laid claim to the creation of the day. Mississippi State University student Dustin Barnes, according to his article, Barnes and his high school friends invented it back in the day. The record, of course, in 1999. Another celebration has been taking place in the United Kingdom for some time, Some of the references are to the celebration in the UK, while others make no reference at all. Basically, look, right now you either know certain. Look, Jesse, the reality is this is when you see one of two things happen. One, the ladies that you thought were single, they're all of a sudden not. You know what I mean? Like the ones that pretend like they're single on their social media, and you're like, I see you have somebody. Or you wonder if it's like somebody maybe wanting to be somebody, right? So then you're like, that's a clear indication. Steer clear of that if you're not that person, right? That's what I say, but whatever. All right, but I find it interesting sometimes when ladies pop out, and even the ladies are like, "I didn't know you were with a guy." They're like, "Yeah, I don't like to say it, but got me a nice box of chocolates and candy." So, and he got mad if I didn't post it. So there you go. And guys, if they don't post it, that's called they're hiding you. But sometimes it happens the opposite, right? I mean, it does, right, Jesse?
Does it? I don't think it happens too often.
Well, not to loyal guys like you, but to other guys, trust me, yeah. So you find out which you are really quick on V-Day. Just saying. For the singles out there, you know what I'm talking about. Am I wrong on that? Am I wrong? I don't know. I'm right. Okay. Let's see. Alan says the day after Valentine's Day is single day. Yeah, because some people are single after that, especially the ladies that have been kept on the side. That still happens, Jesse?
Oh yeah, and some of them are happy to be there, which is really sad.
Well, and you know what? That's true. That's true. Some of them are, and then some of them go, you know what? Fine. And then the guys that thought they had them on the side are now like, wait, what? And yeah, because they're not going to stay single for long, guaranteed. It's trust me. There's a lot of breakups that happen around this time as well. Just so you know. All right. Let's see. Mario says mothers have a day, fathers too. Why not family too? We have a big dinner, then game night and movies after.
That's
response.
awesome.
I know that I want to go to Canada right now. In fact, I'm thinking about traveling soon enough. I think I'm going to head over to Arizona, not for fun. That's for a burial of a friend who got coronavirus and died. But might as well make it a travel delight. I don't know how it's making a bad situation go into a good situation. But there you go. All right, a lot of questions. Japan has formally approved their first COVID-19 vaccine. So they approved it recently, said it would start nationwide within days, but months behind the U.S. and many other countries. The health ministry said it had approved the vaccine co-developed and supplied by Pfizer. The announcement comes after a government panel confirmed the results of clinical testing done in Japan, which showed that the vaccine had an efficacy similar to what overseas tests showed. Many countries began vaccinating, of course, last year, and Pfizer's vaccine has been used elsewhere since December. About 20,000 frontline medical workers at hospitals in Japan will get their first shots Wednesday. 3.7 million other medical workers will be next, followed by elderly people who are expected to get their shots in April. By June, it's expected all others will be eligible. Health Ministry official Yuta Yamashita said inoculations can start as soon as a ministry panel on vaccination logistics gives the go-ahead. So they're working on that very heavily, and there you go. The UK is opening quarantine hotels. They're pushing on with the vaccine drive. Britain's established quarantine hotels have been receiving their guests on Monday as the government tries to prevent new coronavirus variants from derailing their vaccination drive. Passengers arriving at London's Heathrow Airport were escorted by security guards to buses that took them to nearby hotels. Some of the travelers said they had tried and failed to make it to Britain before Monday to avoid the quarantine. Zari Tadayan, who flew to Heathrow from Dubai, was taken to the Radisson Blue Edwardian Hotel near the airport, said she had hoped she would be allowed to quarantine at her home in London. She said she felt horrible about the enforced 10-day hotel stay. She said, quote, "How am I going to cope? I don't know. It's going to be tough." Britain's given a first dose of coronavirus vaccine over 15 million people, a quarter of their population. But health officials are concerned vaccines may not work as well on some new strains of the virus, including one first identified in South Africa. Under the new rules, residents of the UK and Ireland arriving in England from 33 high-risk countries must stay in designated hotels for 10 days at their own expense, with meals delivered to their door. I don't understand that, Jesse. Once you go there, isn't that the whole idea of go like if you have a 2-week vacation, do you get out for 3 days? I don't get it.
I have no idea. I'm just reading this comment from Mario, which kind of blew my mind. So at this current moment, don't fly to Canada.
Got it. You got to pay $2,000 a hotel stay to quarantine for 14 days and get a total of 3 tests from COVID-19. Never mind. I'm going to Arizona. Okay, so there you go. I'll wait. That's fine. International travel has already been sharply curbed by the pandemic. Britons are currently barred from going on overseas vacations. Critics say Britain's quarantine hotels are being set up too late, with the South African variant already circulating in the UK. The Conservative government reached their goal of giving the first of 2 doses of vaccine to 15 million of Britain's most vulnerable people, including healthcare workers and those aged over 70. Visiting a London vaccination on Monday, Prime Minister Boris Johnson praised the unbelievable effort by scientists, medics, pharmacists, members of the military, and volunteers that had, of course, arrived on that. Again, wherever you go, you got to be careful. At the end of the day, wear a face mask, do what you got to do. Some people still have to travel throughout state lines. I know I'm looking, really, I don't want to go to Arizona, but it's one of those, when somebody, it's going to be on native land because unfortunately native recently died, and so that's and a long time listener of our show, by the way, long time listener. So that's and family friends. So of course, those are the type of things that you just say, you know what, and this is the sad thing. Still died about, it's now probably 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, going on 5, and they still haven't cremated the body yet, Jesse. So yeah, there's a lot of like do's and do nots. There's a whole delay, and you wonder what's going on over there. Then there's this, you can't have a regular, again, a native culture, they do it differently, so they're waiting for the urn, but that hasn't happened. So those that, it's funny, I had a conversation because I got a gift for a friend, and the reality is that went to Hot Topic for the gift, and at Hot Topic, the ladies there were like, yeah, I think I mentioned the situation about the death, and honestly, one of them was like, so that's real? And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, somebody else said that they didn't believe it until they had a family member, like a cousin, that died, and now they're taking it seriously. So it sometimes boggles the mind when I hear some go, is it real still? And until they have a very personal experience where somebody does die. And some people just, I think because I have so many friends on Facebook, like a lot of people, it's kind of obvious, but I say to people, start friend requesting a bunch of people randomly and you'll find it out. Just it's sad but true. You're seeing statements all the time. And when you hear it from everybody, it starts to make it a lot more sense. New Zealand is entering a 3-day lockdown after the virus was found. Now, New Zealand had some good news there mid to late last year. Do you remember that, Jesse?
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, in certain parts they had really kind of stamped it out, which was pretty good at the time. But now the largest city of Auckland has begun a 3-day lockdown following the discovery of 3 unexplained coronavirus cases in the community. Health officials said that the cases were of the most contagious variant first found in Britain, and that genome testing hadn't linked them to any previous known cases. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announced that lockdown after an urgent meeting with the other top lawmakers in the cabinet. She said they decided to take a cautious approach until they find out more about the outbreak. The lockdown, which extends through Wednesday, is the first in New Zealand in 6 months. It represents a significant setback in the nation's successful efforts to control the virus. It's also forced a delay in the America's Cup sailing regatta. New Zealand had stamped out community spread, and many people elsewhere in the world looked to them as people went back to work, began attending concerts, sporting events without the need to wear masks or take other precautions. But they had planned to attend a Big Gay Out, which is an Auckland festival that celebrates the rainbow community and attracts tens of thousands of people. But she canceled those plans and returned to Wellington to manage the outbreak. Ardern said at a hastily arranged press conference, quote, "I am asking New Zealanders to continue to be strong and be kind. I know we all feel the same way when this happens. We all get that sense of not again. But remember, we have been here before, and that means we know how to get out of this again, and that is together. The greatest vulnerability has, of course, been at the border. New cases are caught among returning travelers, all of whom are required to spend 2 weeks in quarantine. Despite these precautions, there have been several times when the virus has leaked out from the border before being controlled again. Officials are trying to determine whether that's happening again. There was a father and daughter that caught the disease in the latest case, and officials said the mother works at a catering company that does laundry for airlines, and officials are investigating whether there's a link to infected passengers. Officials said the woman had not been going aboard the planes herself. The rest of New Zealand outside of Auckland has also had restrictions imposed, including limiting crowd sizes to 100. COVID-19 response minister Chris Hipkins says we're getting all the facts as quickly as we can. The system that served us so well in the past is really gearing up to do so again. He described the cases as new and active, said New Zealand has kept COVID-19 contained better than almost any other country, which is true. But as we have kept saying, there is no such thing as no risk. New Zealand, with a population of 5 million, has reported a total of just 2,300 cases and 25 deaths since the pandemic. The country has been hosting America's Cup Sailing Regatta. Racing was due to continue in the Prada Cup Challenger Series, but organizers have announced that a postponement will be necessary. So look, I think if anything, that is a very important thing to realize when you have, and look, New Zealand got on this about 6 months ago, which people were looking at and saying, you know what, they did the hard thing. They bunkered down when President Trump was, spreading, hey, don't worry about it. It's easy. No one, look at us, which is why we're still on modified lockdowns. But at the same time, you've got a country here, which is going, well, we've been able to keep it out. But the moment they see it, they know how bad it could be spread. So they're probably learning from us, sadly, but we should be learning from them as well. Because evidently they were able to go back to the way it was, but they also know, we know how to stamp this out. We can stamp it out. And they have to do so very expediently. So New Zealand there, people, something to take. What do you think about that?
I think that's great. If they were able to get out of it once, they can do it again. They just have to stick with it. I'm assuming they're not crazy like us here in America. So I have high hopes for them.
Yeah. And if anything, hello, people, we got to learn from them. All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
We're in the studio with Fred Penny, managing attorney with Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers. Fred, tell us what makes you the number one choice for handling personal injury cases.
Most of our firm is made up of former insurance company trial lawyers with extensive experience handling all types of personal injury matters. We believe that gives us a distinct advantage.
That's Penny & Associates Injury Lawyers with locations throughout California. For a free consultation, go to pennyandassociates.com or call 1-800-616-4-LAW. That's 1-800-616-4-LAW.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam-encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Join the conversation every Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. Pacific for Inner Voice Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Fujan. Dr. Fujan is a radio and TV host, international speaker, psychotherapist, life coach, and the author of Life Reset, the awareness path to create the life you want. She brings you the latest research and interviews with experts in the field of cognitive sciences. Anyone who loves to grow and create growth for humanity gets a voice on this call-in show. Inner Voice Heartfelt Chat with Dr. Fujan. Monday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific on Smart Talk KMET 1490 AM and on KMET1490am.com.
Experience sheer driving pleasure. Visit BMW of Ontario in the Ontario Auto Centre. Whether you are looking to purchase, lease, or service your BMW, there is only one place to go in the Inland Empire, and that is BMW of Ontario. Visit us today, just east of Interstate 15 off Harupa Street, or online at bmwofontario.com.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions now has Pack Your Meds. That's right, just add water. You order 5 or more prescriptions from Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions, and they will pack your meds for you in AM/PM marked packs. No more sitting down and counting and dropping them on the floor. You remember, it's not fun. I didn't like it. So now they'll do it for you. Safe, sealed, and dated. So call Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions at 951-845-8252.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. Switching gears a little over into our social media chat room over there. Chica tuning in from Nigeria. Glad to have you with us. Maria says, didn't they get no COVID last year at one time? Maria's talking again about New Zealand doing the right thing. And again, going on a big lockdown, at least a 3-day, canceling certain events that were pretty big. Again, not worth it. Not worth it when you get an outbreak like that. Got to get a handle on it. Katya tuning in says, hello, dear people are from around the world. Tuning in from Switzerland. Thank you, Katya. We appreciate you. Let's see. Okay, and then people talking about their weekend. That's awesome. Okay, so lots of entertainment news as well. One of which, Jesse, you saw a movie over the weekend. Do you make a recommendation on that? Because I'm seeing some interesting information on that
movie. I saw a documentary, but same thing to me. The documentary, I don't watch too many, so this one is called Crime Scenes: The Disappearance at the Cecil Hotel. Now, the whole reason I watched this documentary was because I actually remember this on the news. I think it was in like 2013, and she made headway on the headlines. And when they released the video for her when she was last seen in the hotel, and that's what really sparked my interest because it was on a paranormal website. So she was acting really weird before her disappearance, and the hotel has a very dark background, mainly because it's in the middle of downtown LA, next to Skid Row. It's filled with people who have mental illnesses and this stuff like that. But so it starts to talk about her disappearance, and I knew the basis of it. And by the end of it, I was just, my heart sank because the whole documentary is about, well, mainly at the end, is a lot about mental illness and mental health. And I think I think everyone should watch it because you never know what people struggle with every day. People hide behind their smiles. I do all the time. I usually just say I'm okay, but sometimes I'm always a little off. But sometimes I just have to like center myself. But for the documentary, it starts off real spooky because once it starts to get into like, what if it was this? What if it was this? But the deeper you go into what if, you start to steer away from the evidence of the case, which a lot of people did. But so yeah, if you can watch it, I think you might enjoy it.
I think I'd be creeped out by it, but okay, because you've been talking about, you're kind of like getting creeped out just talking about it because it's look, okay. So for those that don't know, the Cecil and those that do know, there are, look, whether you believe in it or not, there's paranormal activity that happens around the world, right? Okay, one will say, okay, it is mental illness. Another will say, yeah, but what kind of mental illness, right? Several guests had jumped to their death in the 50s and 60s. They killed themselves by jumping out of the upper floor windows. Among them was a 27-year-old woman who jumped from a 9th floor window after an argument with her husband in 1962. She landed on a man who was walking on the sidewalk 90 feet below. Both were killed instantly. Now, there's a lot of talk about this Cecil Hotel. It's got a dark past. In fact, tours Hollywood tour guide Richard Shaved had told a news report in 2013, it's the place where serial killers stay. The most famous are serial killers Richard Ramirez and Jack Unterweger. In 1985, Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, was living on the top floor in a $14 a night room. The Cecil, filled with hundreds of transients, lived in the cheap rooms, was a good place for Ramirez to go unnoticed as he killed 13 women. Jack Unterweger worked as a journalist covering the LA crime from an Austrian magazine in 1991. When he moved into the Cecil, he's blamed for killing 3 prostitutes in LA while a guest at the Cecil. So it's got a really long history of just crazyville there.
It's a dark.
I mean, and I say that, you know, because people like that are just downright nuts. And I don't mind saying it, because that's a deep, dark type of evil, right? That's a whole other, I don't say mental illness. I say that is just, it's just terrible. There are those that have mental illness that need help, but not to the point where they're serial killers. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, in the documentary, it starts to go into the dark past of it, and it actually brings that guy up, and it's chilling to the bone that people stayed there, and the serial killer was there, and it's a real creepy documentary. That whole, I think it's been there since the 20s, so it has a long past.
As some would say, there's a lot of bad juju there for sure. But yeah, again, we're talking about the Canadian college student and hotel guest Elisa Lam. It was a mysterious death after disappearing from her room in the LA hotel in 2013. Her body was found 2 weeks later, drowned inside a water tank on the roof of the hotel. So, of course, a lot of questions on that, and a very interesting watch. You know what I learned at the very end of something like that? That's why you got to learn some type of martial arts, and or just take a device with you so you could bludgeon them in the head if they come after you. You know, because I mean, this is ridiculous. People act like this. I mean, even in our own, you know, it's gotten so bad. They're doing it in public daylight, right? But people are going missing. People are going, well, where are they at? And you got to check up on your friends and family. If there's somebody that you haven't heard from, give them a ring and see, you know, make sure they're alive and make sure they're well, because there's crazy people out there. And I'm talking about the truly heinous ones that just think that murder is just, oh, it's just a thing, whatever. They play God and they act like they know it all. And, you know, there's certain types of behaviors from people that you're like, they're not right in the head. And I know many people that are mentally unwell. That's one thing, but they don't go and kill somebody. Like, that's a derangement of another deep, dark, sordid, just nasty. So you know, in situations like that, I'm like, can we just bring Armageddon against all those people? That'd be great. Just kill those people off that like to kill others, right? Just that, you know, how many people get away with murder and probably haven't been caught yet? You ever think about that? I do.
I honestly, I don't want to think about it, because it's so wrong. But I can guarantee you there are people who have murdered people, and they're walking just right next to us, and we don't even know it.
Cold case. I love watching cold case files, right? So I know but you know, some of them are based on real things. So I don't know. I don't trust too many people around, but be careful out there. Okay, people, we're gonna take a quick break. I know we went from really, but look, if you guys like horror movies, that brings some awareness of some terrible horror, which actually happens in our own backyard. So be careful out there. Always watch your back, and when you're walking, make sure to walk with somebody you trust. Okay, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
Who is the Atua Man? Can you imagine exploring spiritual consciousness through an exotic action-adventure story? The Atua Man is masterfully illuminated in this self-discovery novel by John Stevenson. Dive into the page-turning epic hero's journey, weaving together high action with spiritual revelation. Join the Atua Man and his colorful cohorts as they travel through the majestic Hawaii, the hidden mysteries of Polynesia, and the intrigue, starting with the mysterious healing that breeds chaos in London. This journey guides us through the trials of living in the material world, arriving into enlightened consciousness, perhaps glimpse into the fabric of creation. How is the Atua Man affected by the global healing ministry surrounding him? How does he navigate the complexities of love, forgiveness, life and death, wealth and power? Find out in John Stevenson's TheAtuaMan.com, Apple Books, Amazon, Barnes & Noble.
Decades ago, scientists discovered why Greenland Eskimos maintain healthy hearts despite their high-fat diets. The high level of omega-3 oils in their seafood diet protected their hearts. Carlson Norwegian fish oil provides those important omega-3 oils. The same omega-3s from cold water fish support maximum brain power, immune strength, joint comfort, and our vision too. Carlson, the very finest fish oil, is a valuable source of the important omega-3s, EPA and DHA. Each teaspoon provides a full 1,600 milligrams of omega-3s. And its purity is guaranteed. Try it on salads and popcorn. It tastes like lemon, not fishy. As for Carlson, the very finest fish oil, at finer health food stores today.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit to get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
There's more to the water you drink than you think. It's structure that matters the most to your body. So healthy is clean and pure and mineralized, but processed has lost the structure essential to water. It comes right back with the golden ratio. Your glassware is all it takes, so get it right. You'll be sharper by day and sleep better at night. GoldenRatioProducts.com.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We're watching this story kind of closely. Nicki Minaj's father, Robert Mirage, died in New York at the age of 64. Nassau County Police confirmed Mirage was the victim of a hit-and-run accident. Local time in the village was 6:15 p.m. Friday on Long Island. Mirage was struck while walking in the roadway at the intersection of Roslyn Road and Raff Avenue, before being taken to a local hospital where he succumbed to the injuries on February 13th. Homicide Squad detectives are seeking information on the driver who fled the scene. No description of the vehicle has been released. Anyone with information can call the hotline. It's 1-800-244-TIPS. That's 1-800-244-TIPS. Any information, call Crime Stoppers there at 1-800-244-TIPS. Minaj-born Onika Tanya Mirage has not currently publicly addressed her father's death, but her Mirage's relationship with his daughter had been strained, with the rapper telling The Guardian in 2012 that her father was an alcoholic and a drug addict who tried to burn down one of the homes they lived in throughout the years. She said at the time her mother was the only one at home. She managed to escape. Mirage told the outlet the claims against him were exaggerated. Minaj also wrote about what her childhood years were like in the song Autobiography of her 2008 mixtape, Sucker Free. It says yet known what the relationship with her father before his death currently is. But at the same time, that's one of those things that it doesn't matter where you're at in your relationship like that. You got to wonder what she's thinking right now. Right, Jesse?
Right. I actually heard that story this morning, and I'm not a fan of her music, but I would never wish this on anybody. These people that just hit and run they're horrible people.
Yeah, that's that. Look, something that quick. I think sometimes people think they have forever to fix things at some point, and then when you have something like that happen suddenly, you realize there is not forever, right? It gets broken up very quick and very fast. So I don't know about the estrangement that they had. I don't know how that looks for her, but you gotta ask at the same time, at the end of the day, who would hit and then run, and guarantee probably the person didn't even know who he hit at the point, or her, you know what I mean? Trying to avoid either it was a hit and run because of a prior or because of an alcohol or something else involved. Sometimes people just they just run, because they don't want to. But you got to imagine that's going to get a lot of attention, and guaranteed somebody's going to come out about something on that. So I'm sure we'll see some more there. On other news, Israeli prize for defending science.
Yeah, just a silly mistake.
Dr. Anthony
guess I look
Fauci
pretty-
has actually won, because it's a thing, the $1 million Dan David Prize for defending science and advocating for vaccines now being administered worldwide to fight the coronavirus pandemic. The Israel-based Dan David Foundation named President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor as the winner of one of 3 prizes. It said he earned the recognition over a lifetime of leadership on HIV research and AIDS relief, as well as his advocacy for the vaccines against COVID-19. In the statement, the private foundation did not mention former President Donald Trump, who undermined Fauci's Follow the Science program, but it credited Fauci with courageously defending science in the face of uninformed opposition during the challenging COVID crises. Fauci, who's currently 80 years old, has served 7 presidents and has been the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases since 1984. You know what? Why didn't they ever release that like way back when and just kind of announce that when he was serving under Trump, Jesse?
Right? I have no idea.
Served 7 presidents. That's why he didn't go anywhere. There was no way for him to. That's why I think Trump was like, I'm just going to get rid of you. And then they're like, how come I can't get rid of you? You should have said, well, you're not the only president I've talked to. So, but when he was the only president, he's like, oh my God, this man. I don't know. In recent interviews, Fauci acknowledged that it was difficult at times to work for Trump. That guy is such, how do I put it this way? Like, he is such a, I want to say a class act, but he kind of like, there's some people you don't want to be a class act like that around, but you know what I mean? Like, he's playing it nice. I wonder at what point he's going to, behind the scenes, like, you get a couple drinks in him. He's like, man, that guy was such a deep. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, every time we're in a conference, oh, my God, right? Get 2 or 3 drinks, and Fauci, guaranteed his, right? Like, his cool demeanor would be like, oh, man, if I could talk a little. Like, he would be that guy, right? We got to get some drinks in Fauci. I want to hear the real story. But isn't that what you do? You get some drinks in the most calm, collected person, and then start talking about the situation. They will tell you everything you need to know, right?
Right?
It's like a truth serum.
Exactly. All we have to do is just get him drunked up, and he'll spill everything.
We need it. You know what? I'm going to create we have it. And then we'll give him some alcohol ahead of time. He'll be like, no, I don't drink. We're like, don't worry. The first one's on the house. He's like, okay. And then we could get through to the real Fauci, right? Because I think that would be interesting. At least 2, maybe 2 or 3. Just let it come out. It's okay. Talk about Trump. You don't have to worry about him anymore. But there you go. I think it would be funny. Anyway, he repeatedly played down the severity of the pandemic. Of course, Trump, that being, dismissed the need for mask wearing and often touted unproven scientific remedies, including injecting disinfectant. Did we forget that? Seriously, it's a thing. Trump resented Fauci's flattering press conference and reveled in claims to fire Fauci at some of his rallies. Fauci outlasted Trump, who lost the November election. Fauci said at a recent White House briefing, he said, quote, it was very clear that there were things that were said, be it regarding things like hydroxychloroquine and other things, that really was uncomfortable because they were not based in scientific fact. He added that he took no pleasure in having to contradict the president. Biden's election, Fauci said, was liberating. The Dan David Prize, established in 2000, gives $1 million awards in 3 categories each year for contributions addressing the past, present, and future. Fauci won the prize for achievement in the present in the field of public health. Professors Allison Bashford, Catherine Park, Keith Walu, working in the field of history and health medicine, also won the past category. The pioneers of an anti-cancer immunotherapy, Professor Zylig Eshbar, Dr. Carl June, and Dr. Stephen Rosenberg, won the future category. Director Ariel David, son of the prize founder, said this year's laureates have probed how humanity has dealt with sickness and pandemics throughout history. They provided relief, guidance, and leadership in dealing with current outbreaks, and they're at the forefront of discovering new treatments that give us hope for the future in the ongoing battle against cancer and other diseases. Recipients of the Dan David Prize include former U.S. Vice President Al Gore, former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, cellist Yo-Yo Ma, novelist Margaret Atwood, Wikipedia co-founder Jimmy Wales, and filmmakers Joel and Ethan Coen, known as the Coen brothers. So who knew there was $1 million prize up for grabs? Jesse, I think we need to enter our names in the next year. I don't know what we were good about spreading caution the whole time. Don't we get an award for that?
If only we did. That would be awesome.
I know. Somebody's got to go back and we did against people that hated us, I might add, the whole time. But whatever. Here we are. So maybe New Zealand will appreciate us. I think we need to get a job in New Zealand. I don't think they appreciate us here. You don't know how many times when talking about coronavirus, I got people questioning, yeah, but is it true? I'm like, oh my God. Okay, we'll get over it sooner than later. I don't have to get drunk to be able to tell you the people that went at me on a couple occasions, but here we are, still with it. All right, people, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more right after these messages. Stay tuned.
You're running out of letterhead. What do? Lithopass Printing. You need business cards. Now what? Lithopass Printing. Invitations to a wedding? Lithopass Printing and Banning is the answer. Lithopass Printing can provide banners, signs, and blueprints. Think of Lithopass Printing and Banning for quality graduation, birthday party, and baby shower invitations. Lithopass Printing also provides lamination, faxing, and photo prints. If you need it inked, make it Lithopass Printing. Lithopass Printing and Banning.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Mattress Brothers Overstock Mattress Sale. Just $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock Sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock Sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
For generations, alligators have weathered nature, biological threats, and predators. How do they do this? The answer is in their uncanny DNA. Alligators have one of the strongest immune systems in the animal kingdom. Their fat cells contain the essential oils needed to fight off deadly infection and rejuvenate skin. How can you benefit from the alligator's amazing rejuvenating powers? Cayman Oil. Cayman Oil is the revitalizing and healing power of the alligator in a bottle. Cayman Oil is carefully purified and refined with an added hint of vitamin E and lavender to better harness the alligator's ability to heal worn and damaged skin. Treat dry skin, infections, cuts, burns, scarring, eczema, rashes, muscle and joint pain, and more. Even athlete's foot. It's clinically proven to kill the flesh-eating bacteria MRSA. This really works. We guarantee it or your money back. Go to mycayman.com. mycaimon.com. That's mycayman.com.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. Joining our Facebook Live audience over there. We appreciate each and every one of you. Periscope TV as well. And don't forget LinkedIn. We love you and appreciate you as well. YouTube and Alexa. Don't forget to get us on your Alexa app. Also sometimes in your vehicles. Those are always nice to be able to have at a moment's notice. Sometimes some cars and some vehicles have some pretty cool things that you're wondering, what are they going to bring out next? And I know later on in the week, we're going to try out a couple more cars. We'll probably have Ricardo Rodriguez here on the show again to be able to talk about the latest and some pretty interesting items. Of course, they're cutting back on some of the muscle cars that they would have come out with because, of course, they're trying to streamline what it is being manufactured, how many have been moving and not moving. A lot of cars just stayed in place because people just cannot afford the brand new vehicles as they are, or they're trying to double down. I think a used vehicle right now is probably a situation that I would probably consider versus a brand new at this point. But I don't know. What do you think, Jesse?
Well, if you go with Dave Ramsey's thing, he doesn't recommend you buy a new car unless you can pay for it with cash flat out. If not, just buy a used car.
Yeah. Yeah, because the amount of money, I mean, and people are starting to look at that a lot more than they have. But there you go. Okay, lots of storms happening around the world as well. Be careful out there. A lot of places have been opening for restaurant dining, which is outside. I can guarantee you right now. I went to go eat last, I want to say Thursday or Wednesday. It was freezing. So, make sure to have those heat lamps up and like reared to go, because seriously, it is cold. It was hard eating the buffalo wings in the cold, but make sure to warm it. And there you go. That's all I got to say about that. There's a good story here since it's Single Awareness Day. And since many of you are still loving the weekend from the lovey-dovey-dovey, whatever happened in your life there, appreciate your significant other. But here's a story. 6 decades after they met in LA, a couple have reconnected and remarried. Dennis and Diane Reynolds met when they were only 13-year-olds attending Sun Valley Junior High. Now, this is a story where it kind of takes an interesting twist and turn. They actually had a total of 18. At 18, they had 2 sons. They couldn't make the marriage work, and they divorced 4 years later. That was in 1965. After that, Dennis served in Vietnam, got remarried twice, moved around the country. Diane remarried, had children, moved to the East Coast. Both of their spouses passed away. Well, they reconnected in 2019. After all those years, again, sparks were pretty high. Dennis and Diane got married again on November 11th, which is Veterans Day, and the couple's original wedding date from 59 years earlier. They're living in Las Vegas. They recently purchased a home with help from his veteran benefits. Diane said, quote, "We did take the time to grow with each other. I think that's really important. I think that's why it's so strong now. We got to know each other well. They say their life experiences and marriages to others have only served to teach them how to make the relationship work this time." Dennis said, "We've learned in order to make love work, you have to have patience." Now, how cute and adorable is that, Jesse?
That is an amazing story. Super cute.
Yeah, so there you go. National Single Awareness Day. Maybe you fell out of love. Maybe you have another love. Maybe you go back to a love that you knew. I don't know. Maybe you rekindle. Who knows? My point is, love can find a way. That's a good story? I mean, for those, kind of sad for the mates that died. Like, I thought you're going to stick around till the end. I mean, you could look at it from that perspective. Be like, no, I went back to the first one. Why do you think I never worked with you? I don't know. I would kind of be confused as the kids, wouldn't you?
I guess, but I don't know. It gets confusing, but as long as they make it work.
I will say this: that kind of happened with my my grandfather and my grandmother. By the way, their family was split apart like significantly, and he went actually with the younger lady. No truth to the rumor. I mean, she was like I think she was like 28, and he was like 54. When you got it going on, get it going on. But my point is this: I shouldn't say that too loud. But at the end, okay, when it came to his brain tumor, which he had, it was really terrible. The last, I think, 3 to 6 months, he ended up living back at the with my grandma. And when I heard about that way later. I was like, why would? But I think I was 8 or 9 at the time when he passed. And just that story rings true of true love always being there. But it was a situation really that tore the family apart. It was a situation that nobody could see coming. And unfortunately, there was a death in the family. There was a fight that broke out, and there were drugs involved. There was, it was just terrible for all people involved. No wonder it broke the family apart. But at the end of the day, the love that these two had at the end of the day, and they're buried right next to each other on the same plot of land as well at Rose Hills. So my point is, sometimes, some loves are forever. And these two, I'm glad they connected before it was too late, right? Isn't that beautiful? That's a beautiful story. Come on. So there you go. Maybe you have a beautiful story of your own you want to share it with us. And I think if anything, even if it's Singles Day, it makes you aware very significantly so of love exists. And sometimes it transcends time and space. So there you go. Let's see. Maria says this from Canada. I have to write notes for people who do not want to wear a mask, right? But they don't work. It's up to the owner of the business, who he or she lets it, not up to me, but they don't believe in the virus, so they ask for one. Yeah, there's still people out there that think that. I kid you not. I kid you not. That's just the thing. I meet them day in and day out. I'm like, okay, you just don't get around a lot, but whatever. So there you go. It's sad. It's sad. The story is that and some people just don't want to talk about it anymore. They're just fed up with it. But those that have lost a family member due to this, be careful if you start talking about crazy stuff like, nah, it doesn't exist or that. Man, anybody that has lost a friend or a family member from COVID-19 will chop your head off, including me. I've already had several people die from that I know personally, including my sister, who I still try to keep clear from it, who had it as of around the same time, a year ago, was in the hospital, which with what they thought was a flu. It went like literally over just the quick admittance. Even the doctor's like, we've never seen anything like this. We don't know what this is, because this was about the time it was talked about over a year ago. What have we learned in the year? Oh, that's right. It's still around. It's still bad. It's gotten worse. Certain areas like New Zealand will close down because at least they want to stamp it out. Can we get to be like New Zealand? I believe we can. We just have to do what we keep doing now, and we got to keep practicing social distance. We got to keep, of course, making sure that we're not doing anything dumb. And look, if it's a face mask, okay, then it's a face mask. Wear it. God, people, don't be that idiot. All right, people, I've run out of time, right, Jesse? Is there anything else you want to say on our last few minutes?
Just enjoy your day, stay safe, and yeah, wear a mask.
Yeah, and go watch what was that documentary? It's a 4-hour one, right?
Yes, it's a 4-part documentary, and it's called Criminal Case: The Disappearance at the Cecil Hotel.
There you go. So the Cecil Hotel. Sorry if I gave a spoiler. Did I give it? What spoiler did I give? There's more like what happened.
It maybe you gave little bits of spoilers, but
what happened at the end? But if it's a news article, you gotta.
It's true, but the whole documentary, it dives deeper into the whole back history of the Cecil. So there's still a lot that you didn't say. So
okay, I apologize. I read the story. I didn't see it yet. I don't want to sit there for that. I know there's evil in the world, but I'm sure it's a good. If anything, it makes you people aware of what's around you. Don't if I always tell people, if there's a murderer in your vicinity, are you just gonna be like, hey kids, don't worry about it? That's why I say there's a difference between evil and bad. Evil just wants to cause you harm and or kill your kids. The others are just something else. All right, people, make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Be careful out there. Bye-bye, everyone. All right, for the rest of you there, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I know we've run out of time on the station, but I want to say thank you. Again, go check it out. Jesus over there recommends it. Jesus recommends it. I think you should watch it. He says this good documentary, and he did spoil a bit. Still a good watch. It's a 4-part documentary, and each episode is an hour. Yeah, and so I used to like watching some of that stuff when I go, okay, get into the mind of a murderer. But you don't want to stay there too long. You know what I mean? Unless you're going to capture them and you're going to go ahead and, be a detective and turn in all the evidence. And that's one way to do it. But yeah, there's some pretty evil people out there. Make sure to pray that they get their just dessert. That's my question of the day. Karma, does it exist, and do people receive it? And if it doesn't, can we reinstitute it seriously? Because I think the wrong people don't get the right amount of karma. Don't you think? I mean, I think if karma is a thing, it's got to start attacking all evil people so that they just kill over. You're like, oh, they were a murderer. Oh, too bad they died a significant, horribly bad death. There's bad people out there. Seriously. Okay. I love you. Appreciate you. Make it a good day. Whatever you do, remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.